Hey, it's Mike from 424recording.com, and in today's video we're going to take a look at some viewers' comments from viewers like you.
Hey mom, keep it down. Try to rock it in the basement of the crowd.
I just want to say this video is inspired by Glenn Fricker of Spectre Sound Studios. Jay actually was asking me about a YouTuber who consistently yells at you and yells at the camera. And I wasn't sure who he meant, and then it dawned on me that he must have meant Glenn. So thank you, Glenn, for inspiring this video and perhaps series if it works out. In regards to the video I did on distorted vocals, St. Cole asks, the question is how to recreate the distorted vocals live without feedback. Been looking for the answer for years, use all the pedals on the market, still feedback in practice rooms and stage. I think there's a couple things you can do in this situation. One would be a noise gate. Two would be using some sort of pedal to mute the signal when you're not using it manually in case it does feedback crazily and you need to shut it off quickly. And third would be working on EQing out some of the frequencies in the PA that are feeding back. Also, I noticed with certain microphones such as the Shure SM Beta 58A, it's tuned supposedly to allow less feedback. So check out the Beta series of microphones. Maybe that could help you out. Cody French said, hey Mike, thanks a ton for all you've done with your channel. What a treasure trove of info and inspiration. Thanks, Cody. I think my favorite thing about having begun playing with a 4-track is that I always feel driven to finish something when I sit down to record. I've had terrible musical indecision for so long, and this is all helping me come to grips with that and get some sonics made and hone my decision-making instincts. Thanks again. Congrats on the awesome little album. Thanks, Cody. Yeah, the album's called Just a Trick. If anyone's interested, you can check it out at becoolcowboy.bandcamp.com. That's a topic that often comes up with 4-tracking and using the cassette 4-track, and something we've talked about a lot on the channel over the past couple of years or year and a half or however long this has been going on. I don't really remember. Or I can't think off the top of my head. But anyway, so I think that's one of the best reasons to use a 4-track, like we've mentioned over time and time again, is that it gets you out of the computer, you listen more with your ears, and it's a much simpler device than having this unlimited amount of tracks. So great observation, Cody. I'm glad that that's helping you get stuff done, and I'm hoping it helps some of you other people get some stuff done as well. Ball said, hey Mike, it's possible my dive hasn't been deep enough into your catalog, but have you ever experimented with 4-channel tape outputs on the back of the 44 Mark III as a means to bounce to your DAW? From what I see, you're primarily using stereo line out. Luke Temple spoke about using them in an interview, allowing him to bounce 4 separate tracks at once. I'm curious your take on the pros and cons of the two. Thanks for all the great ideas. Lots of clever ways to get lightning in a bottle. Hey Ball, thanks for reaching out. Appreciate you, my friend. I would say the biggest advantage to the 4 outs on the back of the Tascam is that you can bounce out your tracks individually and then work with them in the computer. This is very useful if you want to mix in post. I tend not to do a lot of mixing in post. I do more stereo bounces because I feel like my mix is already there, and then I just kind of master that on the computer. So I work primarily when I'm on the 4-track, just mixing it on there. I don't do too much post mix magic, I guess. But that's a cool thing to do with the 4 outs. I think the 4 outs is also useful if you want to back up your tapes and back up each individual track. We know things happen to analog formats. Even digital formats are prone to crashing, but basically if you want to, I've used the 4 outs a lot for just saving tapes and making backups of tapes. Especially digital backups, because it's just very easy to get them all out of there and save them as individual tracks, and you can mix them if you don't want to keep them in the current mix they're in. So, and I would say likewise the biggest disadvantage for stereo out is that it's stereo out, whatever you got is pretty much what you got. Freighter Tater, aka Jody, asks, what day is the song due? Right now on the channel there's the Fall Song Challenge #2 going on. This is the second annual Fall Song Challenge that I did. Last year on the channel I did a hip-hop song, and this year I'm doing a metal song. I'm kind of stepping out of my comfort zone to make some tracks and hopefully inspiring you to make the same. So I'm gonna get my song done, I think, on the 19th or the 26th. I've been showing off some of the stuff I've been working on in the past couple Fall Song Challenge videos, if you want to check those out. So yeah, I would say 10/26, that's when I'm roughly gonna have my video done, I think. Basically, there's not really like a set due date. Some people are talking about maybe turning this to some sort of a contest. I don't know, I guess I was looking at it more as a laid back exercise and just getting something done, stepping out of your comfort zone, whether that's speed-wise, genre-wise, different type of format-wise, whatever it is, just make sure you're out there doing something awesome, creating something awesome, having fun. You know, that's really what it's all about. So I'd say as long as you get something done in the fall, I would say that's a success. So celebrate those victories, and whatever sounds good for you, Jody. Blake asked, what did you use to master before you used the computer? Have you ever just burned right to CD from the 4-track? I've never burned a CD right from the 4-track, although I know that there's digital 8 tracks, 24 tracks that do a similar function. Some of them have CD writers built in. I'm assuming you could probably just bounce your 4-track right out to a CD rewritable or writable standalone device. I think the biggest challenge would probably be mastering it and make sure all the songs are at the same level. But I mean, that's definitely doable. So I've never done that before, but I would say go for it. If you have if that's your workflow, try it. I'd be interested to hear how it turns out. What did you use to master? Before I had a computer, I just sent it out to friends who had studios, or we recorded in people's studios. So I my 4-tracking days, a lot of it was mastered by other people, I guess. Or we just recorded in studios. So that's what I did before I had a computer. I would imagine if you don't have a computer and you're looking to master them, either find somebody who has some compressors, or send it out to a studio, or you could try Lander, L&R. That's that algorithm mastering now. There's a lot of options. I would say get a cheap compressor and mess around yourself. Because the more you know, the more you know. I got an email from Mayank this week. We've been talking a little bit about recording, some things that they're working on. The first question they asked about was, I got an amp and it's a 2x12 with 2 speakers. Whenever I try to mic the amp, the sound always comes out kind of washed out. Would you happen to have any tips on miking an amp with 2 speakers? I also use reverb and chorus, so I'm not sure if it's because of that. The sound just ends up being kind of quiet and effects aren't really too noticeable, just kind of washed out. I would say the effects you're using are definitely the reason why it's getting washed out. I notice with live effects especially, you usually need a lot less than you do live in order for it to translate well in a recording. In terms of miking the 2x12, I would say treat it as one speaker, meaning just pick one of the speakers and mic that speaker up. They may sound a little bit different. If you have 2 different speakers, you could use that to your advantage because they would sound different. You could mic up each one and mix the result. But if they don't sound that different, or the speakers are relatively the same, I would just treat it as if it's one speaker that you're miking. Also, your videos are a huge help. How do you get the time to produce all your music and make the videos at the same time? Is this something you do on the side, or do you do it full time? Just curious. I'm in college right now and trying to make music and do school can be hard to manage. I wouldn't say I do the channel full time, but it's definitely a part-time job. It's a lot of work. The videos and everything takes a lot of time, but luckily I've been able to get my process down, both with my creative stuff, as in with Just a Trick, I blasted that stuff out 30 to 60 minutes max. I've kind of figured out my workflow at this point with the songs, with the videos, and a lot of the videos I used to do when I had my full-time job, I would do them in the morning before I went to work. And that's why I look really tired. A lot of people thought I used to do the videos high, but it was actually, it was early, and I was like getting up in order to do them. So that brings my next point, is like with Gary Vee, he's like an inspirational speaker type guy, and something he always said about productivity and prioritizing your time is that people who say they don't have enough time to do stuff, they just don't prioritize those things that they're saying they don't have enough time to do. Because a lot of people, myself included, I've gotten into Netflix binging, YouTube binging, video game binging, I don't really go to the bar anymore, but going out, eating out, whatever. All those things you're choosing to spend your time to do them, like it's funny how many people I've met and, who are looking to do something extra or go back to school or get a job at night, and they say, I don't have time to do it, but they have time to watch Netflix for, 4 to 6 hours every night. So, if you'd be amazed how much you can get done if maybe you cut back the Netflix to an hour, that could free up 3 hours of your life versus, 4 hours of your life. So, I don't know, if you're tired, just sleep when you're dead, make some coffee, figure out what you really want, and prioritize your time to do that. So, but it is a lot to manage. It is definitely a lot to manage. There were a lot of times when I thought about giving up and thought about not putting out a video, and I just always stuck to that schedule, 3 p.m. Eastern. That's when I got to get stuff out. So And the other thing is I've been kind of combining the videos and the music, as you probably realized, trying to use the music that I'm making as a teaching tool for some of the recording techniques and things I've been wanting to do on the channel. So actually that helps a lot, combining both the music stuff I'm trying to create and the video stuff. So I hope that answers all your questions. Thank you guys so much, everybody who's commenting. I really appreciate it. I read like every single comment and email that I get, and I try to respond to every single one. It's getting a lot harder to do that just because of the influx, which I guess is good. That means more and more people are seeing it, more and more people are getting inspired to do something, and more people are reaching out. So it's definitely what helps keep the channel going and keep things positive on my side. So that's awesome, and I appreciate every single one of the people who's reached out. Everybody who's watched the video, liked the video, subbed to the channel. It means a lot. I've been meaning to do a 2K subscriber live stream, and talking about that. So stay tuned for that. And if you want more out of the channel, or if you want to contact me more or ask questions on a more regular basis, you can check out my Patreon at patreon.com/424recording. I added some new tiers, and just all about having constant contact. If you have questions or need some sort of direction or mentorship with getting stuff done, hit me up on there. Check it out. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, nerds. Godspeed, my friend. We'll catch you on the flip flop. Peace.